Hi, this video is part 3 on Problems on Ages series. For other parts, you can check out the playlist linked in the description. Steps to solve a given problem on ages are: you read the question, you understand what answer they are looking for, you create a timeline of that question, and you form equations from that timeline. And you solve those equations to get the answer. For forming equations, there's a separate video, you can check out the description. A note before we dive into examples. The problems that we are going to see in this video are a bit interesting, so I'll go slow in explaining the approach. Once you practice enough problems, you should be able to go much faster in your exams. Question 1. Ram's age when Shyam was as old as Ram is 1/3 of Shyam's present age. When Ram will be as old as Shyam is, Shyam will be 10 years older than Ram will be. Find Shyam's present age. The first step is to create a timeline. Right? So we have two figures, Ram and Shyam. And we need to find how many events are there. So there are 3 events in the timeline: when Shyam was as old as Ram, when Ram will be as old as Shyam, and present. Okay, so let's take the present ages as X and Y. Let us read the first sentence. It says that Ram's age, okay, this is about the event, right, is 1/3 of Shyam's present age. So that means Shyam's present age is Y. So Ram's age is 1/3 of Y. So when is this? When Shyam was as old as Ram. So was as, that means they are talking in the past. So when Shyam was as old as Ram, that means present age. Present age of Ram is X. When Shyam was X years of old, okay, when Shyam was X years of old, Ram's age is Y/3. Okay. The first sentence is done. The next sentence is when Ram will be, that means they are talking in the future. When Ram will be as old as Shyam is, that means Shyam is, that means in the present age of Shyam, that is Y. When Ram will be Y years of old, okay, Shyam will be 10 years older than Ram will be. So that means Shyam will be, they are talking about this data point, will be 10 years, that means 10 plus Ram will be. That means this is the future age of Ram. Future age of Ram is Y. Okay. So this is Y plus 10. Find Shyam's present age. That means they are asking for Y. Now we have created the timeline. The next step is to create equations out of the timeline. There are 2 ways to do that. The first way would be the age gap would remain same at every point of life. So from this we can find the age gap as Y plus 10 minus Y. So that is the age difference between Shyam and Ram. So it is 10 years. So this age gap 10 years will remain throughout the life, right? So here also Shyam is 10 years older than Ram. Here also Shyam is 10 years older than Ram. So that means if we take the difference between Shyam's age minus Ram's age, it should always be 10 throughout their life. Okay. Now in the past, if we see Shyam's age is X, Ram's age is Y/3 is equal to 10. That is one equation. Second equation would be at the present. So Y minus X is equal to 10. Since we have 2 equations and 2 variables, we can solve them easily. So this is the first approach. The second approach of forming equations would be like this. So between 2 events, okay, the increase in ages for people should be same. That means if Shyam has grown for 2 years, Ram should have also grown for 2 years. Okay. So That means increase in Shyam's age is equal to increase in Ram's age. Okay. Now increase in Shyam's age is this event minus this event. So that is y minus x is equal to increase in Ram's age is x minus y by 3. Okay. So that is 1. Now if you consider present and future, it should also remain same. That means when Shyam has grown for 3 years, let's say, Ram would have also grown for 3 years. Okay. So similarly, y plus 10, increase in Shyam's age is y plus 10 minus y is equal to increase in Ram's age, which is y minus x. Again, we have two equations. We can solve for two variables. Now, if we see y minus, from this equation we can write like y minus x is equal to 10, and from this equation if you substitute y minus x as 10, we have x minus y by 3 is equal to 10. Now we need to find y, that means we need to eliminate x. So how do you eliminate x from these two equations? You simply add them. Here we have minus x, here we have plus x, so they will cancel. Y minus y by 3 is equal to 10 plus 10, which is 20. So this is, in order to make denominator same, I will divide and multiply this with 3. So we have 3y minus y, which is 2y by 3 is equal to 20. 2 1 ja, 2 10 ja, y is equal to 30. So answer is 30 years. Even for the first approach, it should be same. If we add these two, we will get y minus y by 3, 2y by 3 is equal to 10 plus 10, 20. So answer is 30 years. Question 2. The average age of a group of 10 students is 15 years. When 5 more students join the group, the average age increased by 1 year. The average age of new students is. So one basic concept is average of a set of numbers is sum of those numbers. That means we have to add them divided by number of those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So sum divided by number of those items. Now here the first sentence is average age of group of 10 students. So let us take S1, S2 like that till S10. So those are student ages. Now if we want to find average age, that means we have to add those ages until 10 and divided by number of them. So it is 10. Okay. So this is how we calculate average. So they say it is 15 years. Average is 15 years. Now when 5 more students join the group, so we already have S1 till S10, 10 students. 5 more people join the group. Let us say S11 till S15. So their average, that means the sum of their ages, 15 students, divided by number of students are 15. So 10 plus 5, it is 15. The average increased by 1 year. That means with respect to this, it increased by 1. So that means 15 plus 1, 16. Now they are asking for the average age of new students is. That means S1, S11 till S15. Their average is, add all of their ages, and the number of people are 5 is equal to question mark. We need to find this. So if we want to find S11 plus S15, we need to find S1 till S10, sum of this. So from this equation we can see that S1 till S10, if we add them, we get 15 into 10, that is 150. So we can rewrite this equation as 150 plus the required sum divided by 15 is equal to 16. So S11 till S15 sum is equal to 15 into 16 minus 150. The required answer is divided by 5. So if you divide both sides by 5, we get 5 1 ja, 5 3 ja, 5 1 ja, 5 30 ja. So we have 16 3 ja 48 minus 30 18. So the average age of new students, that means 5 students, is 18 years. Question 3. The average age of a class is 15.8 years. The average age of the boys in the class is 16.4 years and that of the girls is 15.4 years. What is the ratio of boys to girls in the class? The basic formula that we need to remember is average is equal to sum divided by number of things. Okay. So class is composed of boys and girls. Let's say there are X number of boys and Y number of girls. If we label the boys' ages as B1, B2, Bx, right, and girls' ages as G1, G2 till Gy, and we'll try to form equations out of the question. So the first sentence is average age of a class is 15.8 years. So if we want to get average, we need to add all of their ages, both boys and girls. So it is like this: B1 plus B2 till Bx plus G1 plus G2 till Gy. We got the sum divided by number of people, which is X plus Y, boys plus girls, is equal to 15.8. So first sentence is done. Next sentence is average age of the boys in the class is 16.4 years. That means B1, B2 till Bx, if we add all of the ages of boys and divide it by number of boys, which is X, we get 16.4. Similarly, for girls, average age is 15.4. Now they are asking for what is the ratio of boys to girls. That means X divided by Y is equal to question mark. So from this equation, we can write sum of ages of boys is equal to 16.4x. Similarly, sum of ages of girls is equal to 15.4y. If we put that information in the first equation, we have 16.4x plus this is done. This sum of ages of girls is 15.4y. 15.4y. So this x plus y goes that way. We have 15.8x plus 15.8y. Now if I take this side and this side, I'll have 16.4 minus 15.8, which is 0.6. So 0.6x is equal to 15.8 minus 15.4, which is 0.4y. So we need x divided by y. So y goes this way, 0.6 goes this way. So x divided by y is equal to 0.4 divided by 0.6. So 4 divided by 6, 2 divided by 3. So answer is 2:3. Question 4. When I was married 10 years ago, my wife is the 6th member of the family. Today, my father died and a baby born to me. The average age of my family during my marriage is same as today. What is the age of my father when he died? Now, let's try to create a timeline. So there is a man, his father. Man got married, so he got a wife, and there are 3 other fellows. Since the total is 6, so let's take 3 other fellows, X, Y, and Z. There are 2 events. So one is today and one is 10 years ago. So that is the present, and 10 years in the past where his marriage has happened. Okay, so in the present, the ages will be M plus 10. F plus 10, father's age. Wife's age will be X plus 10. And other fellow's age will be plus 10 as well. Now he says my father died and a baby born to me. So that means he is replaced by a baby, right? Now, third sentence is the average age of my family during my marriage, that means at this point of time, is same as today, that means at this point of time. So the average is sum of all of above divided by number of persons, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is m plus f plus w plus x plus y plus z sum divided by 6 is equal to average as today. Today is this m plus 10, which is the man's age, plus the baby's age, right? Father is dead, so we will not consider his age. So baby's age is 0 because it is his birthday, okay? And then the woman's age, that is w plus 10, and the third 3% age. Divided by the number of members in the family, which is 1, 2, baby including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can cancel that. Now m is on both sides, w is on both sides, x is on both sides, y and z are also both sides. So f is equal to 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 50. Now they are asking for what is the age of my father when he died. He died today, that means we want his age, which is f plus 10. So 50 plus 10 is the answer, 60 years. Question 5. The present average age of a family of 5 members is 26 years. If the present age of the youngest member in the family is 10 years, then what was the average age of the family at the time of birth of the youngest member? Assuming no death occurred in the family since the birth of youngest. Okay. So we have to create a timeline. So for that we need persons and events. So persons are 5 members. Let us take them as P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. So P5, let's say he is the youngest. So they say that at present his age is 10 years. So if I say this present ages are P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. So P5 age is 10. Now they say that the present average age of the family. So average age is nothing but sum divided by number of members. So sum is P1 plus P2 till P4 plus 10. Okay, this is P3 plus P4 plus 10 divided by number of family members, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is equal to 26. Now they are asking for what was the average age of the family at the time of birth of youngest member. So P5 is the youngest member. At the time of his birth, what is the average? So at the time of his birth, his age will be 0. That means this gap is 10 minus 0, correct? So we have to go back 10 years into the past to get time of birth. Okay, that means this will be age of person 1 at the time of birth of person 5 will be P1 minus 10. Similarly, P2 minus 10, P3 minus 10 and P4 minus 10. His age will be 0. Person 5's age will be 0. They are asking about average age at this point of time. Now average is addition divided by number of people, which is 5, including P5. Okay. So required answer is P1 minus 10 plus P2 minus 10 plus P3 minus 10 plus P4 minus 10 plus age of P5 is 0 divided by 5 family members is equal to question mark. So if I see this as P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4, I am just taking variables at one place, minus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 40 divided by 5. So we already have that from this equation P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4 divided by 5 goes to this and this. So divided by 5, 10 by 5 is 2. If it goes 2 goes that way, it is 24. So this is equal to 24. So similarly, if 5 goes inside to this and this, so this will become this will become 40 divided by 5. So this is 24 minus 5 8 ja, so 24 minus 8, so 16. Answer is 16 years. Average age of the family at the time of birth of youngest member is 16 years. Question 6. Dan is thrice as old as Tom and Harry is twice as old as Dan. If Dan's age is 1 year less than the average age of all three, then Harry's present age in years is. So they are saying that Dan is thrice as old as Tom and Harry is twice as old as Dan. Now Dan's age is, that means Dan's age is equal to 1 year less than the average. That means if we take average and if we do minus 1, that means 1 year less than the average. So average is nothing but sum, which is d plus t plus h divided by number of people, which is 3. They are asking for Harry's present age. H is equal to question mark. So from this equation we can write like 3d is equal to d plus t plus h minus 3. Now if we replace everything in terms of h, so from this equation we can write d is equal to h divided by 2. From this equation we can write like t is equal to d by 3. So if we replace d again, it will be h by 2 by 3, that means h by 6. So if we put those values in this equation, we have 3h divided by 2 is equal to h by 2 plus h by 6 plus h minus 3. So here LCM is 6. So divided by 6 into 6 divided by 6 into 6 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So we have 9h is equal to 3h plus h plus 6h minus 18. So this 6 is in both LHS and RHS, it cancels. So 9h, that means 3h plus 6h is 9h, so it cancels. H minus 18 is equal to 0, so h is equal to 18. So answer is 18 years. Question 7. Ratio of the ages of Mahesh and Nilesh is 5:x. Mahesh is 18 years younger to Ramesh. After 9 years, Ramesh will be 47 years old. If the difference between the ages of Mahesh and Nilesh is same as age of Ramesh, what is the value of x? Now the first step is to create a timeline. For that, the number of people and events are required. So the number of people are Mahesh, Nilesh and Ramesh. Mahesh, Nilesh and Ramesh. Events are after 9 years and present. Present and 9 years in the future. Okay. So before assuming variables and filling this table, let us go through the sentence again and fill the hard-coded values first. Hard-coded means fixed without any variable. So this sentence says after 9 years, Ramesh will be 47 years old. So that means they are talking about this data. So that means it is 47. So after 9 years, Ramesh age will be 47. Now we should think, can we fill anything else in the table with this information? Yes. So after 9 years, his age will be 47. So that means before 9 years, that means at present his age will be 47 minus 9, which is 38. So his age will be 38 years. Now let's go back to the question. So this sentence is done. Let's go back to the question and try to fill the table. So ratio of ages of Mahesh and Nilesh is 5:x. Let us leave that. Mahesh is 18 years younger to Ramesh. So that means younger means less than, right? So Mahesh is 18 years less than Ramesh. So if we take age of Ramesh and do minus 18, 18 years less than Ramesh, we get age of Mahesh. So at present, age of Ramesh is 38. So age of Mahesh is 38 minus 18. So it is 20. Okay. So can we fill anything more from this information? Yes. So future age will be 20 plus 9. So this may not be useful in the solving, but it's okay to fill. Okay. So this is gone. Okay. Next sentence says, if the difference between ages of Mahesh and Nilesh is same as Ramesh age. So difference between age of Mahesh and Nilesh. So it can be m minus n or n minus m. So it can be anything. So it is equal to 38. So the age of Ramesh. Okay. So at present I am taking that. So age of Mahesh is 20. So 20 minus n or n minus 20. So if we consider this, so 20 minus n. So if n is 10 years, 20 minus 10, 10. So if you do anything positive, if we assume n is positive, right, because it is age, if we do 20 minus that, we will never get 38. So this is not the difference. Okay. So this is the possible difference. So n minus 20 is equal to 38. So that means n is equal to 58. So at present age of Nilesh is 58 years. So after 9 years his age will be 67. So done. Now this sentence is also done. So first sentence is ratio of ages of Mahesh and Nilesh. That means present ages. If we take ratio of Mahesh and Nilesh, that means 20 by 58, we get 5 is to x. That means 5 by x. They are asking us to find x. So from this equation, we can say that 5 1 ja, 5 4 ja, x is equal to 58 by 4. So 2 2 ja, 2, 2 ja 4, 18 is there 9. So done. 2 1 ja, 2 1 ja 2, 2 4 ja 8 plus 1. So 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5. So answer is 14.5. Question 8. In an apartment complex, the number of people aged 51 years and above is 30, and there are at most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. The average age of all the people in the apartment complex is 38 years. What is the largest possible average age in years of the people whose ages are below 51 years? Now there is no need to create a timeline for this question since everything is happening in present. Now it says that there are two groups of people, age 51 years and above and age is below 51 years. Okay, so let us call this group of people as A and this group of people as B. Now it says that number of people in group B is 30, and this says that there are at most 39 people in group A. At most 39, that means the maximum value is 39. So that means there can be 38 people, 37 people or something like that. Since this number is varying, I will take it as a variable x, whose maximum value is 39. Done. Now the average age of all the people in the apartment complex is 38. Average is nothing but sum divided by number of people. For sum we need their ages. Let us call ages in group A as A1, A2 till AX and B as B1, B2 till B30. So there are 30 people in group B. So their ages are B1, B2 till B30. Now if we want sum, we need to add all of them. This group plus this group. Right? So let us call this as sum A. So that is another variable. That's it. So this as sum B. Now average is sum A, that is addition of all of the ages in group A plus sum B. So this will become group A plus group B, that means all the people in the apartment ages are summed divided by number of people, which is x plus 30 is equal to 38. So that is done. Now they are asking about what is the largest possible average age of people in group A. So if we take average age of people in group A, it is sum of their ages, which is sum A divided by number of people, which is x. So sum A divided by x. They are not asking about average, they are asking about largest possible average. That means the largest possible value of this is equal to question mark. Now if you want largest possible value, we need to choose the largest possible numerator or the lowest possible denominator. Let me show what I mean. So let us take an example. 10 by 10 is a fraction, let's say. Its value is 1. Now if I increment the numerator to, let's say, 20, right? The overall value of the fraction will be 20 by 10, it is 2. If I increment the numerator to 100, so 100 by 10, it is 10. So that means if I increase the numerator, if I choose the largest possible numerator, the overall value of the fraction will also increase. Now let us take again the same number. 10 by 10 is 1. Now if I decrement the denominator, that means decrease the denominator to 5, the overall value of the fraction is 10 by 5, which is 2. If I decrement again it to 1, the overall value of the fraction will be 10 by 1, which is 10. That means if we decrease the denominator, the overall value of the fraction will increase. Or if we can do both, that is increase numerator and decrease denominator, we can have the best result. Okay, so that means there are three ways. First way is to increase sum A, second way is to decrease x, and third way is both, first and second, increase sum A and decrease x. Okay, we need to see which way to go. So from this equation we can write like sum A plus sum B is equal to 38 into x plus 38 into 30. So again we want everything in terms of sum A, right? So we will send that sum B to that side. So sum A is equal to 38x plus 38 into 30 minus sum B. Now if we want the largest possible sum A, it is in first way or third way, right? So if you want this to be largest, this has to be the lowest. Now let's take an example. Let's say B is equal to 100 minus A. Now if we take A as 90, B will be 10. 100 minus 90, it is 10. So if A as 80, B will be 20. If A as 10, B will be 90. That means if we decrease A, B is increasing, correct? So that means for largest possible B, which is if A is 0, B will be 100. So for largest possible B, A has to be the minimum. Okay, so we have to choose B1 plus B2 plus B30 such that this sum B is the lowest. Now if we see here, these people ages are greater than or equal to 51. So that means the minimum possible value is 51, right? So if all of their ages are 51, so that is the lowest possible. Now let's say one member age, if we take it as 52, so that won't be the lowest, because if this is x, this is x plus 1, right? So that is not the lowest. So all of their ages should be at minimum possible. Minimum possible is 51. So sum B will be 51 plus 51 plus 51 till 30 times. So that is nothing but 51 into 30. So this is 51 into 30. So minus 51 plus 38, which is 11 minus 8 is 3. and 4 minus 3 is 1. Since it is minus, so it is minus. So sum A is equal to 38x minus 13 into 30. Now we want the largest possible sum A. Now if you see the values, right, the largest possible values of A1, A2, AX will be less than 51, right? So it is like, let's say 50.9. Everything is 50.999, something like that. So that is the largest possible sum A, 50.9 plus 50.9 till last x number, right? 50.9. So that is the largest possible sum A. So which is good. Okay. Now let us think about decrementing x. Now x largest possible value is 39. If we take 38, right, that means one member cancel, then we will have a large number, that is 50.9 being removed from sum A. That means if we decrement x by 1, sum A is also decrementing by 51. That means this is not the correct way to go, because there is a dependency between x and sum A, and that dependency is causing the overall value to fall heavily. Because if you decrement x by 1, sum A is also decrementing by a large number. So that is not the correct option. Similarly, this also is not correct option, because when we decrement x, this is also decrementing. So this is also not possible. So only this is a possible way. So this can happen only when there are more number of people, that is the largest number of people possible, which is 39. So that means x is equal to 39. So we already saw that, right? So if we take less number of people, sum A is reducing drastically. So we have to take maximum possible number of people, which is 39. So x is equal to 39. If I put that here, right, or better we get in terms of average. So we'll divide by x. So x and x cancel. This is the largest possible average value, is equal to 38 minus 13 into 30 divided by x. So x, we already decided it to be 39. So 13 1 ja, 13 3 ja. So 3 1 ja, 3 10 ja. It is 38 minus 10. So largest possible average age of people in group B is 38 minus 10, 28. So this is the answer. Question 9. 10 years ago, the ages of members of a joint family of 8 people added up to 231. 3 years later, one member died at the age of 60 years and a child was born during the same year. After another 3 years, one more member died again at 60 and a child was born during the same year. The current average age of this 8-member joint family is nearest to. So we need to create a timeline for this. So there are 8 people and there are different events. 10 years ago, 3 years later, another 3 years later, and current, that means present. Okay, let us take 8 people as person 1, person 2, person 3 till person 8. Now 10 years ago, that means from present 10 years in the past, their ages, let's say there are P1, P2 till P8. Now added up to, that means sum of these is equal to 231. So that means P1 plus P2 plus P3 till P8 is equal to 231. 3 years later, that means from here 3 years into the future, one member died. Let us kill P1 at the age of 60. That means his age was 60 when he died and a child was born. That means, let's say P9, new member got introduced. Okay, so here P2's age will be P2 plus 3. Similarly, P3's age will be P3 plus 3. So let us not fill that, let us wait. Now after another 3 years, that means from here 3 years into the future, Another member died. So P1 is not present. P2's age will be 60. Let's kill him this time. So P2 has died at the age of 60 and P10, that means one more child, got introduced. Now they're asking for current average age of this 8-member joint family. That means P1 and P2 are not present. P3 till P10. So that means 10 minus 3, it is 7 plus 1. So it is 8 people. So they are present. Their average value we need to find. Average age. That means we need to add all of these values and divide by 8 to get the average value. So P3's age at present will be P3 plus 10. Similarly, P4's age will be P4 plus 10 till P8 plus 10. Now P9 was not born until 3 years later, right? So from here till here we need to see the difference. So his age at the time of birth will be 0. So from here till here difference is this 10 minus 3, which is 7. From here till here it is 7 years. So P9's age at present is 7 years. Now P10's age similarly, right? So from here till here the difference is 10 minus 3 plus 3. So that means 10 minus 3, 7. 7 minus 3, 4. So difference from here till here it is 4 years. That means P10's age at birth will be 0. P10's age at present will be 0 plus 4, 4. Okay. So now if we want average, we need to have sum of all of these. That means we need to add them. P3 plus 10 plus P4 plus 10 till P8 plus 10 plus 7 plus 4 divided by number of people, which is 8, is equal to question mark. Okay. So from here if we take all of the variables at one place, we have P3 plus P4 till P8. Okay. So 10 is repeated 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 is repeated 6 times, so it is 60 plus 11 divided by 8. So this value we need. So from this equation we have P3 till P8, okay, but we need P1 and P2. So at this point of time we need to find their values. So here we have some information. So his age when he died was 60. So we can find the value of P1, which is 60 minus 3. So P1 value is 57. P1 value is 57. Now similarly P2 value we can find. So P2 died at this point at the age of 60. So which is after 6 years, 3 plus 3, right? So P2 value is 60 minus 3 minus 3. So it is 54. Okay. P2 value is 54. Now P3 till P8, if we add, we get 231 minus 57 minus 54. So from this equation we can write 231 minus 57 minus 54. If we add these two, we will get minus 111. So 231 minus 111, it is 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, so 120. So this value is 120 plus 71 divided by 8. So 191 divided by 8 is the required answer. 8 2 is 16, so 11, 8 2 is 16, so 31 remains. 8 3 is 24, that means 7 remains. So it is 23 plus 7 by 8. They are asking for nearest value, so that I am going to round this up to 24. So answer is 24 years. The average age is 24. Question 10. There are 3 Pathan brothers, Yusuf Pathan, Irfan Pathan and Saddam Pathan. The sum of the squares of their ages in completed years is 325. If the product of their ages does not exceed 1000, find the age in years of the youngest brother. So sum of squares of their ages, that means if we take YIS as their ages, squares and sum of the squares of their ages is 325. So in completed years, that means it is a integer, right? So it is not something like 20.9 years. So it is something like 21 years or 20 years in completed years. That means y, I, s are integers. So exactly to say they are natural numbers. So from starting from 1 till maybe 110 or something like that. So if the product of their ages does not exceed 1000, product of their ages is y into I into s does not exceed 1000. That means the maximum value is 1000. It can be less than that also. Now they are asking for find the age in years of the youngest brother. Let us say S is the youngest. Mathematically we can write it like S, age of S is less than age of I and age of S is less than age of Y. So we need to find age of S. Now there are two equations, this and this, and there are three variables, this. That means we may not be able to solve them mathematically. So we need to go for some sort of trial and error in order to find the value. So it is like this. If we consider this equation, we have three values. When multiplied, they should give us 1000. So let us start with basics. 10 into 10 into 10 is 1000. Again, 2 into 50 into 10 is also 1000, or 1 into 100 into 10 is also 1000. So these are all the possibilities for 1000. Now this value is less than or equal to 1000. That means it can be 900 as well. So for that there will be a number of possibilities. So this is not the correct path for trial and error method. Okay. Now let's go to the other equation. It says that if you take three integers, square them and add them, you should get 325. That means if I have square numbers, right, square of positive integers, I should pick three numbers such that their sum is 325. Now let me write the squares of positive integers. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square 16, 5 square 25, 6 square 36, 7 square 49, 8 square 54, 9 square 81, 100 121, 12 square is 144, 13 square is 169, 14 square is 196, 15 square is 225, 16 square 256, 17 square is 17 into 17 is 7 7 is 49, 7 1 is 7 plus 1, so 289. Okay. So now 18 square, it is the 64, 828, 144, 18, it is 324. Now 19 square, 9 9 is 81, 9 1 is 171, 190, so 361, right? So it goes like that. Now this says I need to pick three. These are all squares of numbers. So I need to pick three numbers from above list such that their sum when added, that means we get 325. Now if we start from 1, there are a lot of possibilities for this and this. If we start with 4, there are a lot of possibilities for this and this. So let us start from the other end. So let us take 361. So if I take 361 here, there itself it became larger than RHS, which is 325. That means this is not the correct option. If I take 324 here, so 324 plus something should be equal to 325. So that means this plus this is equal to 325 minus 324, which is 1. So that means I can fill this box with 1. The other box should be 0, which is not the correct combination, because it has to be in completed years. That means they all have positive numbers as their ages. 324 is also not the possibility. Now let's take 289. So if I take 289 here, the other two numbers should be 325 minus 289, so which is 25 plus 11, right? So 15 minus 9 is 6, 11 minus 8 is 3, 2 minus 2 0, so 36. So if we take 289 here, the other two numbers when added we should get 36. So we need to find two numbers such that their sum is 36. Now if I take 256 here, again it is not correct, so I should go probably here. If I take 36, other number will be 0, so that we have to go to the left. So if I take 25 here, the other number should be minus 25, which is 11. Other number should be 11, so that is not a possibility. If I take 16 as the first number, the other number should be 20. So that means that is also not a possibility. If I take 9, the other number should be something else, right? So since we already have lower x and higher y, we can stop our search here because we already went through the higher numbers. So that means 289 is also not a possibility. Let us take 256. If I take 256, there is room for two numbers such that x plus y is equal to 325 minus 256, which is 54 plus 25, 79. Right? So I need to find two numbers such that their sum is 79. So if I start at this point, 64, that means the other number should be, if I take x as 64, the other number should be 15. So that is not a possibility. If I take 49, the other number should be 30. That is also not a possibility. If I take 36, the other number should be 43. So that is also not a possibility. We can stop our search here since we already went through the higher numbers, because as we go lower the y will increase, so that we already have been through them. We can stop our search there. So that means 256 is also not a possibility. Now let us take 225. If I take 225, the other two numbers should add up to 100, right? 325 minus 225. So we need x plus y as 100. So we need to find two numbers such that their sum is 100. So now if I take 81, the other number should be 19. It is not a possibility. If I take 64, the other number should be 100 minus 64, which is 40 minus 4, which is 36. So 36 is present. So that means we have hit the jackpot. Correct? So this is 64 and 36. So we have successfully found a set of numbers such that their sum is 325, right? So 225, 64 and 36. If I take, these are squares of ages, so if I take that possibility, it is 15, root of 64 is 8 and it is 6. So this is one possibility. Since we are going for trial and error, there may be another possibility here, so we need to be thorough, right? So that means we should continue our search. So 225 is done. Now let us take 196. So if I take 196 out of that, I'll have 15 minus 6, which is 9. 11 minus 9, it is 2. 2 minus 1, it is 1. So I should find two numbers such that their sum is 129. If I take 100, it is 29. Bad. If I take 81, the other number is 38. Right? So the other number is 48. So that is also not a possibility. If I take 64, I should find 65. So that is also not a possibility. So we should stop our search since x is 64 and y is 65, which is more than x. We should stop our search there. That means 196 is not a possibility. Let's go for 169. So if I take first number as 169, I have room for two numbers such that their sum is 325 minus 169, which is 15 minus 9 is 6, 11 minus 6 is 5. 2 minus 1, 156. I have room for 156. So if I take 144, right? So I should have 12, which is not a possibility. If I take 121, I should have 35, which is also not a possibility. If I take 100, I should have 56. It is not a possibility. If I take 81 out of 156, it is 15 minus 8 is 7, 6 minus 1 is 5. So I should have 75, which is not a possibility. So if I take 64 out of that, I should have 2. 15 minus 6 is 9, 92. That is also not a possibility. Now, since this y has crossed x, so we can stop our search there. So 169 is not a possibility. If I take 144, the first number as 144, 325 minus 144, which is 1. 32 minus 14 is 18. So we need to find two numbers such that their sum is 181, right? So if I take 144 again, right? 144 again, I should have 7, and 7 minus 4 is 37. I should have 37, so that is not a possibility. If I take 121 out of 181, so I'll have 60, so that is not a possibility. If I take 100 from 181, I will have 81 as a possibility. So 81 is present, so we have hit another combination, which is 100 and 81. So if I take, so that is the correct combination, right? So if I take square roots, that means we need to get, this is y square, I square and s square. We need to get y, I, s values. Okay, so this is 12, 10 and 9, right? That is another possibility. So 144 is done. Now if I take 121 out of 325, so that is 204. So I need to get 204, sum as 204. Now if I take 121 again, I'll have 3. 20 minus 12 is 8, 83, which is not a possibility. So if I take 100, I'll have 104, which is not a possibility. Since y is going above x, we can stop our search there. So 121 is not a possibility. If I take 100 out of 325, I'll have 225. That means 100 is the first possibility. So I'll have 225. Now if we add these two, we should get 225. Now if I take 81 plus 64, they are less than 200, right? So that means we should end our search here. Now if you think maybe we should take 196 plus something, right? We need not, because we have come from that side. We have already considered that as a possibility, so we can stop our search here. So these two are the possibilities for this, from this equation. Now these values, one of these values is correct, or maybe two, we don't know. So it should satisfy this equation as well. So when we multiply them, their value should be less than or equal to 1000. So when we multiply these three numbers, 15 into 8 is 120, 120 into 6 is 600 plus 120, 720. Okay, now when we multiply this, 12 9 ja 108 into 10, so 1080. So this is greater than 1000, so this is not a possibility. So this is the only possibility. So they are asking for the youngest brother's age, which is 6. So answer is 6 years. Summary. Problems related to ages can be solved using basic concepts and little bit of logic. There is no need for shortcuts. Shortcuts lead to confusion, so simply avoid them. For other aptitude related problems, you can check out the playlist linked in the description. Thanks.